is Chuck W30 and Operation W30C, net control for the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club net. This radio net is each every Monday here at 8 o'clock on the Two Rivers ARC Club repeater system, operating on 147.12 megahertz. And we're also on the internet at TRARC.org and also on Facebook. All radio amateurs are welcome to join this net, and if you'd like information about the radio club, you can write to us at P.O. Box 225, Green Oak, PA, zip code 15047. Radio club meetings are held on the third Tuesday of every month except in December, starting at 7 p.m. at the Plainville Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall, 409 Orchard Avenue, Elizabeth, PA. That's up on the hill above Elizabeth. By the way, the club meeting is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Before opening the set for check-ins or emergency or priority traffic, at this time, anybody on Echolink, which is the check-ins, W3OC.
This is Kilo Charlie 3, Zulu India X-Ray, Jeff and Irwin. No messages, no comments. Good evening, everybody.
Members of the Board of Directors wishing to check in.
W3OC. W3OC, please recognize Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, Bob and Elizabeth Township. Evening, Chuck. Evening to the net. No traffic.
That time I got Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, and I think November 3 Juliet Hotel Bravo. I could just barely hear a lot of scratching. I heard KB3WP listed also, and the Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Pump. I guess you guys are all together. Okay. Any other members of the Two Rivers Board of Directors wishing to check in? I got Kilo 3 Charlie Radio Oscar. Anybody else from the Board of Directors? Looking for stations are operating mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County for the Two Rivers net.
Net control. Net control, please copy. Kilo Alpha 3, Yankee Golf Lima, Bruce in South Connersville, Fayette County. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the net. No further comments.
W3OC. Please recognize November 3 Tango Alpha uniform. That's N3TAU, Normanton, Westmoreland County. Good evening, Chuck.
W3OC. Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Quad, Dan Beavertown. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the net.
Okay, that time I got Kilo Alpha 3 Yankee Golf Lima, November 3 Tango Alpha uniform, and Kilo Bravo 3 Victor X-Ray Papa. Did I get that right? Victor X-Ray? Yeah, I think I got it right. Okay, anybody else mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County?
Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, Dan Beavertown. Control. KE3, KEV, Getty and Plum. Good evening, Chuck. No traffic.
Okay, I got Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Echo Victor. Anybody else? Mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County?
W3OC. Please copy Kilo Alpha 3 Foxtrot Whiskey Quebec. Jeff and Gravesburg. Good evening, everyone.
Got Kilo Alpha 3 Fox Whiskey Quebec. Anybody else? Mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County? Alright, okay. Now I'm open up for general check-in. Anyone else like to check out and done so, call now.
W3OC, Whiskey Alpha 3 IOU. And if you're on HTs tonight, you better turn your power up. I don't think the machines here are too good.
W3OC. Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Sierra Papa. Jim in Carnegie.
W3OC. 03 Hotel India Romeo, Merle Elizabeth Township. At that time, I got Whiskey America 3 India Austria Uniform, Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Sugar Papa, and Kilo 3 Hotel India Radio. Anybody else, please?
W3OC, please recognize November 3, Alpha Hotel Charlie, Antonio on Echo Link. Good evening, Chuck. Those on the net, no traffic.
Okay, you got November 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie up on Echo Link. Thank you. Anybody else?
W3OC. Delta 8 Alpha Norway.
Okay, at that time I got November 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie on Echo Link and Kilo Bravo 3 Delta Victor Delta. Adolph, you're very scratchy as a repeater tonight. Anybody else?
Kilo Bravo 3 Uniform.
At that time, I got, I think, Kilo Bravo 3 Uniform X-Ray Yankee. Thank you. Anybody else? Copy that. A lot of static. Try again. Static. Try again. Your KB3 DVD is W3OC net control. Very scratchy. Very, very scratchy at the moment. Thanks for checking in. Anybody else want to check in?
KB3 with a recheck.
What was it again?
Robert 3 1 radio. Something all wrong there, Chuck.
Roger, got it. Kilo Bravo 3 Uniform Quebec Radio. Thank you. Anybody else? I got Kilo Bravo 3 Echo Kilo Oscar. Yes, thank you. I I'm also hearing the static. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I've been kind of milking the check-ins. Thank you all this evening. I guess we got some noise on the repeater tonight. Not sure where it's coming from, but thank you all for taking the time to check in with us this evening. I got a bunch of information to pass out, of course. And the Two Rivers Club, we have very many activities we do during the course of the month. Of course, we have 4 radio nets that meet on the various frequencies. Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. on this repeater system is the Two Rivers ARC GapNet. On Thursday nights, we have the 10-meter GapNet that meets on 28.460 on the 10-meter band. And on Friday nights at 6 p.m., usually on a 40-meter band, around 7215 or so is the 40-meter version of the GapNet. Okay, we also have other activities to go on during the course of the month. And of course, Radio Club meeting is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. At the Blaine Hill Volunteer Fire Department. And in the social hall downstairs, 409 Oxford upstairs, I should say, 409 Oxford Avenue in Elizabeth, PA. We also have an operations night that meets once a month on the second Thursday of each month at 7 p.m. at the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall. It's 439 Liberty Way in Elizabeth, PA. So you're welcome to join us for that kind of stuff. We also have a breakfast gathering on the second Saturday of each month at 9:30 a.m. at a local restaurant. Currently, we're using the Rock Run Inn at Butler's Golf Course for that. We also have amateur exam sessions 4 times a year. In March, June, September, and December. Plus, there's usually one at the Hamfest, the Two Rivers Hamfest, and sometimes we have them at other activities too. As previously mentioned, the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club Hamfest is coming up on Sunday, April the 6th. It's the 53rd annual Amateur Radio Hamfest and Computer Show. 8 a.m. till noon, Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department at the Social Hall, 4312 Liberty Way, Elizabeth, PA. Will have directions on this repeater system. You can still get, I think you can still get prize tickets in advance. Information's on our website on TRARC.org. Main prizes listed this year are the Zugu G90 transceiver plus battery or cash, a Yaesu FTM 500D mobile transceiver, that's a digital job, and FM, or cash, or Yaesu FTM 70DR, a handheld transceiver or cash, portable generator, and other items not currently listed yet. If you wish to run a table, you should wish to run a table as an exhibitor. You can do that by contacting the coordinators by email to hamfest@trarc.org, hamfest@trarc.org. You can try calling by phone. You might have to leave a message. Answering machine 412-951-1332, 412-951-1332, or 412-260-5699. 412-260-5699. We're also going to have amateur radio exam sessions this year at another site real close by the location up there. And this year, for the first time in many years, we're offering a flea market area on the outside of the building. So that's if you have something you wish to sell. We'll have food available there too. That's on Sunday, April the 6th at the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department at 184 Social Hall, 4312 Liberty Way in Elizabeth, PA. Weeks after that, the Two Rivers Club we're going to be having amateur radio technician level exam preparation classes. They start on April the 17th, again at the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall. They start at 6 to 9 p.m. for a period of and they're once a week on a Thursday for 6 weeks. Final exam session will be at 7 p.m. on Thursday, May 29th. There's no cost for that. They are asking people to sign up for that by letting one of the coordinators know, mostly because they have to order books and stuff like that. You can find information on our website at trarc.org, or you can do email to training@trarc.org, training@trarc.org, or you can call Jim at 724-518-5251. 724-518-5251. Registration is going to close at midnight on April the 6th, 11:59 p.m. on April the 6th. Okay. Also, the Radio Club just put on a digital repeater on 441.975. I believe it's currently running a Yaesu C4 FM digital mode voice for that, and you're welcome to try that. I think it takes a PL of 131.8 hertz to get into it, I believe. They're looking for signal reports on that for sure. Remember, that's digital voice. So I think it will also switch between digital and analog. I believe analog would be straight FM on that frequency pair, 441.975. Okay. Okay, look at the regular calendar of things coming up. March the 29th is the Weirs Hamfest, West Northern Emergency Amateur Radio Service Hamfest. That's their second one. They're going to be held at the Greensburg Masonic Center, 349 Donahue Road in Greensburg, PA. Information's on their website, wc3ps.org, I believe it is. Let me see, I got a flyer here, I think. Their flyer says, Greensburg Masonic Center, 349 Donahue Road. Talking will be on the 147.18 repeater. You have to use a PL tone of 131.8 hertz to get into it. More information is on their website, www.whiskeycharlie3papasugar.org. They're going to have breakfast and lunch available. Prizes include an Exigu G90 HF 20-watt transceiver, a Radio Didity DB25 Mini DMR mobile handheld radio, a Yaesu Enterprise Yaesu FT70 DR digital dual band HT. You can get price tickets, I guess. For table reservations and more information, contact Abe at 412-357-0076. 412-357-0076. You can also do email to WC3PS at Comcast.net, Whiskey Charlie 3 Papa Sugar at Comcast.net. The Two Rivers Hamfest is the following week on the 6th. On the 27th of April, the Pittsburgh Antique Radio Society has their Radio Fest at the Center Stage Banquet Hall in Monaca, PA. They specialize in antique radios and electronic equipment. In May 4th, the local amateur radio emergency service is looking for help with communicators, amateur radio communicators for help with the Pittsburgh Marathon race that runs through the city of Pittsburgh. Bob NU3Q is the contact for that. That's on May the 4th. I think that's kind of what I got. Okay, in the world of DXing, there's a bunch of stuff going on. Currently, this operator has heard the Andaman Islands DXpedition, Victor Uniform 4 Alpha X-Ray, on various bands. They're working a lot of different bands. 160 through 10 meters, including 60-meter band, CW single sideband in various digital modes, with 6 stations active, QSL via M0 URX. Let's see some of the other stuff that's listed. Cape Verde Island, a special event called Delta 450 ICV is active until the end of the year, marking Cape Verde's Independence Day. South Cook Islands, Echo 51 Alpha November Quebec is on the air from Rarotonga during the month of March. Let's see. A bunch of other stuff on here. San Andreas and Providencia, that's down in the Caribbean, I believe. Grenada, J38 X-ray Bravo. That one just opened up, I think. Andaman, I just mentioned Andaman. Cambodia, members of the club station XU7 Alpha Makassar at the National Polytechnic Institute of Cambodia are operational on satellite. Satellite QO100 until March 16th. I think that's already ended. This weekend on the radio contest, they have the Point BARTG HF reading contest, the NCCC FT4 Sprint, that's a digital operations on the FT4 mode, weekly RTTY slow speed TW test, Russian DX context, and Virginia QSO party is also on this coming weekend. So a lot of stuff going on in the world of amateur radio, that's for sure. Hopefully many of you folks can make it out and try some of the operations, especially with the pretty good propagation. I know this operator here a couple nights ago, on Saturday night at 11 o'clock, the 10-meter digital was still pretty much wide open to various parts of the world, especially into South America. So other operators are reporting quite a bit of activity with contact into Southeast Asia, around Japan, on 10 meters especially. And I know at the latest operations night we had here last Thursday, we got to see some of the sunspots on the face of the sun, and there were tons of them up there. I saw at least 10 or 12 that I could see with a telescope. So we still have a lot of sunspot activity, and that's what kicks these bands up to make them operational. Okay. With that, I'm going to take a standby. Does anybody need to repeat for anything they've heard? This is W3OC. I'm going to switch over to Newsline. Let's see what Newsline's got tonight. This is W3OC.
The following is a QST. The official U.S. Climate Agency faces an uncertain future. Ham radio becomes a tool to handle rampaging wildlife and a triumph for navigation systems on the moon. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2472 comes your way right now. From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now reporting from Charleston, West Virginia, here's Jim Dameron, N8TMW. We begin with a developing story here in the U.S. With the Atlantic hurricane season on the horizon, ongoing job cuts at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, are throwing the agency's future into question among forecasters, scientists, skywarn spotters, and other hands responding to weather disasters around the nation. Randy Sly, W4XJ, brings us up to date.
Published reports about the downsizing of a number of U.S. federal agencies indicate that NOAA, the government's climate and weather agency, is bracing for another 1,000 job cuts on top of its recent loss of an estimated 1,300 staffers. The National Weather Service, which is a part of NOAA, announced earlier this month that it was temporarily halting launches of some of its weather balloons because of staffing shortages. Data gathered by the weather balloons has been, among other things, an important source of data used by hams and others who regularly track the solar cycle. Sources told the Washington Post that the government may not renew the leases for NOAA's Weather and Climate Center in Maryland and for its Radar Operations Center in Oklahoma. According to a report in the New York Times, additional cuts will mean a reduction in NOAA's staffing by 20%. The Washington Post said that the National Weather Service now has fewer than 4,000 on staff, the smallest roster in recent history. A number of amateur radio nets, including the Hurricane Watch Net and the Maritime Mobile Service Net, interact with the National Weather Service during storms and other emergencies, passing traffic and transmitting critical bulletins. It was unclear what impact these staffing cuts will ultimately have on amateur radio's role in safety communications during times of crisis. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
Amateur radio emergency response varies from location to location, but the need for effective communication remains the same everywhere, whether a region is dealing with a wildfire, a cyclone, or something else. Jim Meacham, ZL2BHF, tells us about a response team in India that recently started up to deal with rampaging wildlife.
A handful of villagers on the edge of the Buxa Tiger Reserve now have additional assurance that they will be better informed about dangers posed by wildlife on the move. The North Bengal Amateur Radio Society has assisted a group of youths from 5 villages near the Tiger Reserve so as licensed hams they can watch out for potential deadly encounters between humans and animals. The young amateurs began this effort after the last monsoon in which 2 young villagers were attacked and killed by elephants in a remote village of Chipani, according to a report on the website of the Indian publication The Telegram. The young team received guidance from Swarup Saha, VU3KOX, Secretary of the North Bengal Ham Society. Mobile connectivity is unreliable in remote areas of the region, and villagers were often unable to warn one another about dangers to their homes, their crops, and their lives. The 3 months after the small team of hams was formed, radios have been set up in each small village near the Tiger Reserve. The villagers told the Telegram they were much more confident now that they will be better able to protect themselves and their homes. This is Jim Meacham, ZL2BHF.
Farmers and fishermen in India are also learning how ham radio can assist them, as we hear from Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
In West Bengal, India, hams responding to natural disasters in the coastal region of that state have long witnessed the struggle of farmers and fishermen in the aftermath of each of these cyclones and other disturbances. While the radio operator's response has traditionally been to initially step in and assist with emergency communications, the West Bengal Radio Club knew its members had to do something more and could. At a one-day seminar this month at Niota University, in cooperation with Agriculture and Communication Department officials, 3 speakers from the club gave insights and instruction to those who work the land and the sea. They learned how they might use radio to better prepare in protecting their livelihoods in this difficult climate. Club Secretary Ambarish Nagbiswas, VU2JFA, told Newsline that after conducting the awareness program and instruction, the hams will assist with the installation of community radios with the support of government officials. More than 350 students from 8 states and 17 districts attended the one-day seminar and workshop. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
In bringing you this next story, Newsline indulges in a bit of personal pride. The Hamvention Awards Committee has chosen our own Neil Rapp WB9BPG as Amateur of the Year. You may know him as a Newsline anchor and correspondent, and as creator and host of the former Ham Talk Live webcast. But the ham world first heard from Neil at the age of 5 when he became one of the youngest licensed hams ever in 1976. A visiting professor of chemistry at Xavier University and a former high school chemistry teacher, Neil has a long commitment to bringing ham radio to kids. First as a school ham club sponsor and as co-founder and camp director of Youth on the Air Americas. Neil is a contributing editor at the National Contest Journal and a member of the ARIS USA Education Committee. We are so proud of you, Neil. Neil will share the stage in May during the Hamvention Awards in Xenia, Ohio, with 3 other recipients. One of them, Dr. Christina Collins, KD8OXT, is Chief Operations Scientist for the Hamside Personal Space Weather Station Network. She is being given the Technical Achievement Award. Julio Ripoll, WD4R, is being given the Special Achievement Award. Julio is co-founder of Amateur Radio Operations at the National Hurricane Center and is assistant coordinator. He has managed emergency communications during Caribbean hurricanes and the Haiti earthquake of 2010. The Club of the Year Award recipient is the RV Radio Network, which has more than 450 members who combine amateur radio with the joy of travel in recreational vehicles, hosting educational forums, rallies, and seminars along their journeys. A station in Austria has been the latest shortwave broadcaster to air a program by Germany's National Amateur Radio Society, as we learn from Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
If you've been listening to Radio DARC's shortwave programs broadcast on the 31-meter band from Wolferton in England or from Ingolstadt in Germany, on Radio Channel 292, a ham-owned AM broadcast station, you now have another option. The program produced by Germany's National Amateur Radio Society is now being carried on a test basis by the Museum's Radio Plattenkist transmitter in Bad Ischl, Austria, run by OE5 TPM. During the month of March, you can listen from 1900 to 2000 CET on Saturdays on 1476 kHz. The DARC welcomes reception reports for the 1 kilowatt station, and they should be emailed directly to radio@darc.de. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
In the U.S., the entire 6 gigahertz band will be opened up to a greater operation of unlicensed VLP, very low power, devices under an FCC final rule that takes effect May 5th. The band, which comprises frequencies between 5.925.7 and 7.125 gigahertz, is used by mobile service, fixed service, and fixed satellite service across 4 subbands. VLPs, which include wearable devices, augmented reality devices, and healthcare monitors, typically have an integrated antenna and cover short distances. This latest action by the Commission, published in the Federal Register March 6th, provides greater spectrum for various portable devices operating with the same power levels and operational requirements of other VLP devices. Time for you to identify your station. We're the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the KD2SL repeater, Syracuse, New York, Mondays 8 p.m. after the Fireside Chatnet. Navigation systems based on Earth have achieved something that has scientists literally over the moon with pride, as we hear from Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
When an Earth-based navigation system successfully tracked a lander on the surface of the moon on March 3rd, the interaction was hailed as a triumph. It was a first for Lunar GNSS receiver experiment known as Alugra, a joint project of NASA and the Italian Space Agency. This unprecedented ability to have Earth-based navigation track movements on the moon bodes well for high-altitude exploration such as NASA's planned Artemis missions. Observers view it as a gateway to even more advanced navigation systems, which would be applicable to missions headed for Mars. The contacts between Lugra and the 2 navigation systems, GPS and Galileo, achieved success some 225,000 miles from Earth, determining position, velocity, and time autonomously. This is a first for the Italian Space Agency and a nod to the work of Frank Bauer, KA-3HDO, who was a consultant for the Lugra Moonlander package. Frank, the executive director of ERIS, had experimented more than 20 years ago using the satellite AO40 to measure the signal strength of the GPS satellite constellation at high altitudes. That experiment was credited with helping improve GPS and its applications, and experts note that it ultimately led to the ability for such navigation at even higher Earth orbits. This is Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
We remind listeners that young hams who live in the continental United States have an opportunity to make news, if they aren't already doing so, by being the recipient of this year's Amateur Radio Newsline Bill Pasternak Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award. Consider nominating an amateur radio operator 18 years of age or younger, someone who has talent, promise, and commitment to the spirit of ham radio. Newsline was proud last year to honor Grace Papay, K8L6 of Holland, Michigan, with this special award. Do you know someone who might qualify to receive this year's honor? Find application forms on our website, arnewsline.org, under the YHOTY tab. Nominations are now open. We're accepting nominations through May 31st. New York State's Erie Canal was completed 200 years ago, providing a waterway connection between the East Coast and the Midwest by linking New York's Hudson River with Lake Erie. Now the Erie Canal is getting ready to be a source of connection for amateur radio operators who will be on the air in September at various points, including the 524 miles known as the Erie Canalway National Heritage Corridor. If you'd like to be one of them, this report from Andy Morrison, K9AWM, should be helpful.
September can't come soon enough for the Warren County Radio Club, W2WCR, whose members are planning a club picnic and POTA activation to mark the bicentennial of the Erie Canal. The club's president, Bernie, N1NDN, told Matt, K2EAG, and Mike, N2MAK, that the POTA event the two have organized from the 16th through the 25th of September provides a perfect opportunity for everyone to try operating a portable station while celebrating the historic canal. While most of the portable stations are likely to be at various points along the route known as the Erie Canalway National Heritage Corridor, not all activations are likely to be on dry land. Matt said that the Radio Association of Western New York, W2PE, hopes to operate aboard the museum ship USS Little Rock, CLG-4, in Buffalo, while at the opposite end of the canal in Albany, hams are hoping to activate another museum ship, the USS Slater, WW2DEM. Matt and Mike are looking for as many individual hams and clubs as possible to sign up. Meanwhile, there's plenty of room along the corridor, which has the POTA designation of US 6532. The radio event is timed to coincide with the World Canal Conference that kicks off on the 21st of September in Buffalo. If you would like to help honor the canal's history, contact Matt at the email address in the text version of this week's newscast script at arnewsline.org, or look for him on the Facebook page of Upstate New York Parks on the Air. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
In the world of DX, Pierre, VE3KTB, is using the call sign VY0ERC from the Eureka Amateur Radio Club station on Ellesmere Island, IOTA number NA008 until the 2nd of April. He's operating CW, SSB, and FT8 on various bands. For QSL details, see QRZ.com. The DARC special event call sign, DA25WARD, is active until the 27th of April in recognition of World Amateur Radio Day. Hams around the world celebrate April 18th, 1925, the day of the founding of the International Amateur Radio Union. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Members of the EIDX group are using the call sign 6Y7EI from Jamaica, IOTA number NA097 through to the 24th of March. Listen for them on 160 through 6 meters, where they will be operating using all modes. QSL via M0OXO. Adrian, HJ4ADR, is operating holiday style from the 20th through to the 26th of March using the call sign HJ4ADR/0. He's operating from Providencia Island, IOTA number NA049, using low power. He'll be on 40 and 10 meters using SSB and FT8. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Finally, if you've ever waited for a phone call that just never came, you might appreciate our final story this week, especially if your caller happened to be on the moon. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, explains.
That much-awaited wireless call from the moon to the Earth will just have to be put on hold for now. Nokia's 4G LTE network was expected to be put through its paces from the south pole of the lunar surface following the March 6th landing of the Athena lander, built by the private Houston, Texas-based company Intuitive Machines. Athena arrived with Nokia's Network in a Box, or NIB, on board. Like its predecessor lander, also built by Intuitive Machines, the lander tipped over upon arrival and, with its solar panels blocked from receiving the necessary recharge from the sun, the mission was quickly declared over. Undaunted, Nokia pointed out that the company did successfully deliver the moon's first cellular network and powered it up for 25 minutes to transmit data and receive commands from the Earth. Hopes were high, though, that there would be more to report. After all, this mission was supposed to help facilitate communications in 2027 aboard Artemis 3. That mission is to be NASA's first human spaceflight to the moon since 1972, and astronauts are expected to be wearing spacesuits that have integrated 4G LTE capabilities courtesy of Nokia and Axiom Space. Of course, that's still 2 years away, so until then, hold all calls, please. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
You don't need to be a literary giant of the amateur radio world to send your amateur radio haiku to Newsline's Haiku Challenge. You just need to be inspired. Set your ham radio poetry down using traditional haiku format. A 3-line verse with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, 5 in the third. Submit your work on our website, arnewsline.org. Each week's winner gets a shout-out on our website, where everyone can find the winning haiku. With thanks to ABC, Amateur News Daily, and Barry Stag Bishwash, VU2JFA, David Behar, K7DB, the DARC, Federal Register, Hackaday, Matt Brown, K2EAG, Michael Coulter, W8CI, New York Times, NASA.gov, QRZ.com, Radio World, ShortwaveRadio.de, The Telegram, Washington Post, Wired.com, Wireless Institute of Australia, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, visit our website, arnewsline.org, and know we appreciate you all. We also remind listeners, if you like our newscast, leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron, NATMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2025, all rights reserved. Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2472, with the release date of Friday, March 14th, 2020. Bishwash, VU2JFA. David Behar, K7DB, the DARC, Federal Register, Hackaday, Matt Brown, K2EAG, Michael Coulter, WHCI, New York Times, NASA.gov, QRZ.com, Radio World, ShortWaveRadio.de, The Telegram, Washington Post, Wired.com, Wireless Institute of Australia, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, visit our website, arnewsline.org, and know we appreciate you all. We also remind listeners, if you like our newscast, leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron, NATMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2025, all rights reserved.
Hey, that's W3OC. Okay, it's W3OC. That concludes this week's Newsline transmission. Okay, I don't think I have any more any comments to make or anything here tonight. So at this time, I'll take some late check-ins. I'd like to check in, call now.
W3OC. Please welcome Alpha 3 Mike Romeo. My name is Walt. Portable curtain work. Good evening to you, Chuck, everybody on the net. No comments.
W3OC. This is November 3, Juliet, Papa, Quebec. Kurt in Norfolk Cells. Good evening to the net. No comments.
This is Bob NU3Q. I have a couple quick announcements when you have time. Thanks.
Okay, that time I got Alpha 3 Mike Radio Portable, November 3 Juliet, Papa, Quebec, and Bob NU3Q with a comment. Anybody else wishing to check in, call now. NU3Q, please go ahead with your comments.
W3OC NU3Q, thanks, Chuck. First off, I want to announce that Wednesday evening, after our 9 p.m. AresNet on Wednesday night on the 09 machine, we will conduct a simplex drill on 146.55. I'll be running the event from W3KWH, the Steel City Clubhouse, after our meeting Wednesday night. So I sent a spreadsheet out with our contacts, or I send everything again on your Facebook page here. Because John grabs their stuff and distributes it as well, so K3CR I'm talking about. Let me drop this. Okay, secondly, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, hi. That Sunday I will need volunteers for the Pittsburgh Marathon. My biggest need right now, I need a shuttle driver to take people from the North Shore into town, to run a couple trips back and forth before the race starts. I need a shadow in town. I need some aid station people out in the East End. If you're in the shadow position or the transportation or the shuttle driver position, you can email me nu3q@nu3q.us, and I'll give you the secret password for that part of the site. To get to the registration website, just do a quick Google search on Pittsburgh Marathon Volunteers 2025. Click on the first hit that comes up. Scroll to the bottom of that webpage and click on Amateur Volunteers. Click here. It'll take you to the registration site for that. So once again, volunteers desperately for May the 4th for the Pittsburgh Marathon. Let me drop this. Okay. Last new announcement. And John K3CR, if you're listening, I sent an edited version out just a couple minutes ago on your Facebook page. You can use that to distribute the information. But Saturday, July 12th, 2025, 1 week before Support Your Parts Weekend, I will do a Allegheny County Aries and POTA activation at Moraine State Park South Shore at Pleasant View Grove number 1 near the lake, and that's on the south shore of the park. If you want to go, I sent a link out in the email and on your Facebook page to click on. It's a shared Google spreadsheet. This is open to all hands and their families. If you bring a family member on, please let me know in that spreadsheet so I can properly plan for food and other provisions as well. So once again, that's Saturday, July 12th, 2025 at Moraine State Park. If you look at your club's Facebook page, and I also have the various email list too, so that's where you can access the information for this. And John, K3CRO, if you're listening, I'll stand by after net. I need to talk to you real fast. Back to you, Chuck NU3Q.
Hey, Bob. All right, thank you. NU3Q is W3OC. Thank you for the update and all that stuff. Yes, the marathon, I think I already announced that. I hadn't mentioned the July 12th event. Thank you for the information on that. And we'll try to get it on the calendar we have, the things we have. Okay. Anybody have any questions for Bob before we continue? It's W3OC. Okay, anybody else wishing to check in, call now. Okay, got Kilo Charlie 3 Victor Uniform Oscar. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, it's W3OC. I got 23 check-ins on the check-in roster. Thank you all for taking the time to check in with us this evening. And I hope many of you folks get to enjoy amateur radio, especially HF, or even operating with the local clubs. And of course, don't forget the Two Rivers Hamfest on April the 6th. Alrighty, with that, we're going to try to repeat your back to general amateur use. It's W3OC, also known as W3O, and closing the Two Rivers. Now, thanks. Good night.